Welcome back to SwitchCorner. Today we're going to be taking a look at Rivals of Aether on the Nintendo Switch. A Smash clone, but can it live up to, its idols? Or is it destined for disaster like the recent Bounty Battle? Well, hit subscribe if you love the Switch as much as we all do here. Join our growing family and let's get started. So first off, story, and yes, it includes a story that's somewhat to me masking almost as a tutorial based around 6 characters. If I had to guess, these are probably the original 6 characters that were included in the game. That's because this game, for those that don't know, has been on PC for some time and has seen some serious growth with a larger roster and modes. This story, though, it's taking place over 7 chapters. The first 6 you'll play as an individual character facing 5 rounds, and then the 7th a boss that I will not spoil. The stories are okay, giving just a tiny bit of personality and lore to this world, but they are very self-contained. Like Maypole, the guardian of the forest, feels a disturbance and basically goes to investigate, while Setterburn is out to avenge his father, who has been assassinated. Super bite-sized stuff, and I wouldn't come here for it, and the game doesn't force it on you either. On booting up story mode, in fact, you can choose to play entirely with or without cutscenes, which is actually an option I respect in this scenario. So gameplay, let's start with this roster and controls, and it may lack in quantity in comparison to the mighty Smash Ultimate, but talk about variety when it comes to how they control. While the general controls are largely the same, providing a standard attack, a special, jump, strong attack and dodge, they're just all so unique, and you could literally spend hours here just diving into their skill sets, from those that can fly higher to different special moves. Each attack then, you combine it with a different direction, it's going to give you a different move. Learning these will be key to winning, not only of course to beat down on your opponent, but these will be key to survival, because if you go flying off this stage, you need to somehow now make your way back like any good Smash clone. I love the characters here, and while I found my favourites, they were Setterburn and Shovel Knight, there's something here for all tastes. So yeah, good fighters, good start, but they would mean nothing without modes, and I'm happy to say there's a ton on offer here that's split between offline play and online. Local offline first, and we get versus mode. It's simple enough, you can go 1v1, 2v2 or free-for-all, with a combination then of local players and bots. What I enjoyed so much about this mode though, the huge amount of customizables, from your opponent's level to a tournament mode to the number of lives and time limits. Then we get story mode, as I mentioned, work your way through 6 chapters to face off against a final boss, a rival. Each chapter though, you will be controlling a different character. This can be played in one player, or even a friend can jump in and be player 2 in the fight alongside you. Then of course the expected tutorial mode, just to practice your moveset. Tether, which is actually a sports mode, weirdly. You hit the ball around the pole till it reaches the top. You can also beat down on your opponents at the same time, but this was actually in fact really fun. I really enjoyed this one. Finally then though, Abyss mode, and this for me is the main go-to mode found in Rivals of Aether. Here you face off against endless waves, and you just try to rack up as many points solo as a team or versus. This mode is incredible, it's addictive, just chasing that high score, getting to that next wave. There's an online leaderboard to make comparisons, and this could keep me coming back for some serious time to come, as it just throws different challenges in your face, like this wave, destroy all the targets before timer runs out. Next wave, beat a superpowered foe. Next wave, destroy a wave of low difficulty enemies. It changes every time, and I absolutely loved it. In Abyss mode then, you can even attach what are called runes and buddies. Runes are purchased with in-game currency that you'll accumulate through the different game modes. They can only be used in Abyss, but they're basically just enhancements, so think less cooldown time on a special, but every character has their own unique set to unlock and kind of understand what they do. Buddies then, these are purely aesthetic, but occasionally show up on the battlefield just to give you some visual support. It's a real nice touch, but my favourite was the fact that Ku is here from Ori as one of them. It's a small thing, but it's another thing to unlock, which is good because it leads to a ton of replayability. So online then, and here's where we get the problem, unfortunately. I picked this up day one and it was having issues. Matches were lagging and there seemed to be some noticeable frame rate issues. Checked out the Twitter page, the devs were, on it, and they've done a hell of a job of supporting this one over the years. I had no doubt they would come through here as well, and that's been very much the case. Having played it today, it definitely feels a lot smoother, and they are still working on improving it. The problem though, right now, like most Switch games, day one I was flying into matches in seconds. Today I made spent 10 attempts. I found 2 matchups, the rest I actually waited 15 minutes each with no success. I chose 1v1, I chose 2v2, and I chose free-for-all, and honestly, as I say, not much success. This game though does not offer crossplay, and there's a good chance this will be a problem on the Switch, because rarely does a Switch game drive up a solid community. When you factor in today, less than a week after release, I've been waiting 15 plus minutes. I hope it does find a community. The game deserves a community, but what it deserves and what it gets can be 2 very different things. So if online is what you're looking for, I'd be wary unless there's like friends buying it alongside you. That in itself is an expensive prospect for people buying this game. You know, this thing is priced at $30 or your local currency. If you do go that way though, just know online it can be played casual or ranked. Outside of this then, we do get a few additional menus. Extras here, you can look at your stats, customize your character's color scheme, you can watch replays, you can rewatch cutscenes from story. Probably my favorite menu though gotta be milestones. Here you have to win enough fights with each character to unlock a buddy for that Abyss mode. I love the gameplay, the variety of characters and movesets, along then with 15 creative stages that all provide, you know, unique challenges. This isn't a game that lives in the shadow of Smash. It absolutely deserves to stand alongside it as what I would consider almost like a more hardcore variation of Smash. The issue right now online is already struggling, and that will put off many people. Just know though, Abyss mode incredible, and I would pay the price of entry just for this addictive mode alone. The final thing, Rivals of Aether, it runs at a lock 60 FPS locally, while issues are still being worked on for online mode, but it's definitely improving. There's a great read though about this from the creator on Medium about the importance of 60 FPS, and I've linked it down in the description below, and it just shows his entire passion for this project. So graphically speaking then, we get a beautiful pixel work style, and while we have some highs and lows in the design, it's always of a good quality and more a personal taste scenario. The characters are quick though, and the animation's solid, each providing something unique, meaning not only will you be, you know, working out how they all work, but the spread they get and how much damage they will do. In a pixel perfect fighter like this, knowing your opponent's moves and what they look like and kind of what distance they can go to is just as important as learning yours. Stages then, and they all have a difference from the size to platforms to outright obstacles. Really loved the visual presentation on this one, from the characters to the reproduction of Shovel Knight and Ari to the main menus that have that suitably retro feel that reinforces the game's overall style. Only complaint, the story. It's single screen images and text, and I would have loved to have seen, you know, something that's animated, true cutscenes, just to build upon this world. So audio then and some solid music takes most of the focus. It's repetitive, but I never had that urge, you know, to turn it off or lower it. For sure, it captures though the intensity of the battle without just being kind of obnoxious. Then the attacks, each character gets their own effects, and I noticed as I played, started to recognize some of these audible cues from my enemies as well, always a good thing. So yeah, great work overall on the audio front. Not a huge amount going on, but more than enough. So Rivals of Aether on the Nintendo Switch, it's a funny one to score. I'm not good at Smash games, I'll put that out there now you've been watching this footage. I'll be the first to say that, and rarely do they lock in my attention honestly. But this one has a good grasp on what motivation looks like to the player, and a high score chasing an Abyss mode, it just latches onto the shmup fan inside me, and I could not put it down. No matter how much I got destroyed, no matter how much they kicked my ass, I had to do better, I had to climb the leaderboard, and I felt this way about everything. Even like story, normally this is kind of one and done for me, but here it awards you medals based on how quickly you can complete each challenge. And yeah, timing the entire event and giving me medals, I'm bound to come back. Everything here though is designed not only to drive that one more go feeling, but that idea of you need to practice, you need to get better, and only then will you win. Loved my time with this, and I will be heading back to the Abyss, but here's the big question, and really where it gets tough for the review. If online is important for you, I can't recommend the game right now. Not only is the service having a few issues, but I rarely found anyone today to even match up against, as this like spinning symbol, you know, just looking for someone's going to kind of become a reflection of your time spent with the game, you know, waiting and waiting. This only a week after launch is kind of concerning. If though you just want to experience single player with an addictive set of options, you've absolutely found your game. For me personally, a great 8 out of 10 for single player. Want online though right now, absolutely the polar opposite and just defied this, because as it stands, it has issues in this arena and no audience there to connect with either way. I hope it does find that audience though, because this is a competitive game that has like full on tournaments, and I hope the Switch community comes to realise what they are missing out on. The next best step though, devs, look into crossplay and you may just have a game that will be remembered alongside Smash on the Nintendo Switch, not as a clone but something that very much is just as good as it. Thanks for watching. As always, a shout out to the patrons of the channel who are just going above and beyond to support SwitchCorner. It helps more than you know, so thank you all so much. If you do want to check that out for yourself, it's linked in the video description down below. Then finally, hit subscribe if you love the Switch as much as we all do here. Join our growing family, and I'll see you all on the next video. Thanks everyone.